We go now to Jase Kirksey from the Buffalo News, who has more on the Rex Ryan firing. Jay, this is not a surprise to people that have been following the NFL, but is there some surprise that it was done before the final game of the season?
Yeah, slightly. Just, with the timing, given the holidays here and everything like that, and really with only one game left, you would think that it would make sense for Rex Ryan to finish out the season. But I believe that the timing, at least in part, is due to the Bills having an interest in retaining Anthony Lynn, who's going to be taking over on an interim basis to coach the final game. He has been the team's offensive coordinator. I think there's an interest on their part in giving him the permanent job, and this may give them a head start on making that decision.
And his twin brother also fired. Is that common?
Yeah, it is fairly common when coaching changes are made in the NFL that really entirely new stabs are brought in, and I expect that we'll see several of the other Bills assistant coaches depart after this season as well. The fact that they did announce Rob Ryan's firing at the same time, I think is somewhat unusual, but given the obvious nature of their relationship, in that sense, it makes a little bit more sense, and you can understand why they did it at this time.
What about any changes we might see in this last week at quarterback?
Yeah, well, there's a report from ESPN that the Bills are going to bench Tyrod Taylor, their starting quarterback all season, and start E.J. Manuel, who has been the backup. And really, this is a business decision. Tyrod Taylor has a fairly large, actually a massively large contract option that's coming up at the beginning of next season. And if he were to suffer an injury in this final game, the Bills would be forced into picking up that option, and that's a situation that they don't want to occur. They want to be able to walk away from his contract option if that's the decision that they make, and they would not be able to do that if he were to suffer an injury. So I think that the decision to start Tyrod Taylor is based largely on financial implications, or not start Tyrod Taylor, excuse me.
You mentioned those, the financial implications. With Rex Ryan, the financial implications are interesting. 3 years left on his 5-year deal, averaging out to $5.5 million a year that they have to pay him. They would rather be without him, pay out that money, than have him there at the helm. What does that say about Rex Ryan as a head coach?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, what it says is that the ownership group here, Terry and Kim Pegula, will spare no expense in doing what they think is right in terms of trying to build a winner. Now, you can obviously say that to fire a guy just 2 years into a 5-year contract does not speak well to the decision that they made, and really what was their first major decision after taking over as owners. I mean, this was a big swing and a big miss on their part to pay out that much money. I mean, I know they have billions of dollars, but to eat that much money is not a good sign for them. And for Rex Ryan, I think it very well could mark the end of his head coaching career. I mean, there is plenty of speculation that he would be a natural fit as an analyst, on one of the pregame shows on one of the major networks, and you certainly could see that with his personality, how that might make sense. And from a pure coaching perspective, I mean, this is 6 straight seasons now that he has coached and not made the playoffs. His defense, which is really what his calling card was, has not been the same during his time, finishing his time in New York and then here in 2 seasons in Buffalo. They have just not been able to get the job done from a defensive perspective. So instead of going back to being a defensive coordinator or something like that, I would not be surprised at all if we saw Rex Ryan in some sort of immediate job next season.
Yeah, I don't think that would surprise anyone. A far cry where he is right now from the 2 AFC championship game appearances with the Jets, and we know that the Pegulas have to want something to happen now. Bills haven't made the postseason since 1999. Jase Kirksey of the Buffalo News. Thanks for the time, Jay. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.